we will have to rate together. Like, let me know how I did once we finish these books, if I fit the song well enough, if you are familiar with the song. The one that I have been so excited for, it's Vessel from Sleep Token. He's so hot. He's so hot in his little combat boots. Like, please. I'm on like angsty metal algorithm for my Spotify. I know. I mean, it goes along with Sleep Token. Like, I just get recommended these songs all the time now. Hear the monsters, crazy. We're so badass. We're like these monster killing crazy warrior people. Hello besties, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Tori if you're new, and today we're letting Spotify pick my reads for the week. We're going to let my top songs on Spotify for this month pick what books I'm reading. I have a couple of books in mind that I would like to get to, so we'll see if we can fit them with my like top 5 songs of the month. It's going to be an interesting mix. I think there's going to be a lot of Sleep Token on there. I would be really surprised if Julia Wolf wasn't on my top 5, and then I'm not sure about like the other spots. That is the plan. Hopefully we are successful. Hopefully I can pick up and match the vibes of the book without having read it first. I daylight as a booktuber and I moonlight as a booktuber that makes playlists for books that I love, and also Pinterest boards. So I'm hoping that this goes well. Let's take a look at my Spotify and see what my top 5 is. Welcome to my Spotify. Let's go to my top songs. Okay, so top artists this month: Sleep Token, Julia Wolf, Amira Alfeki, oh my gosh, I love her, and Jutes. And then my top tracks for the month: Julia Wolf is number 1 with Jennifer's Body. Okay. Party for You by Charlie XCX. It's so funny. I'm not sure I'll be able to match a book to Party for You. Maybe. I would, not without like reading the book first, you know what I mean? Because Party for You has such a specific feeling to it. Smut by Jutes. If you have not listened to this song, you need to. It's so good. Caramel by Sleep Token, Dangerous by Sleep Token. Okay, so those are our top 5 to pick from. Okay, I think right off the bat, we're gonna do Silver Elite by Danny Francis for Dangerous. I feel like that fits really well because it's dystopian. I think it has something to do with like the military. I've heard that it gives Fourth Wing vibes, so I'm not sure if it's like a military school or not, but I think that Dangerous will fit that pretty well. I'd like to try to pick 3. Jennifer's Body. There's a new release that just came out today when I'm filming this on May 13th. It's called The Incandescent by Emily Tesh. It's a sapphic dark academia book where they're at like a magic school, and magic in that world is very closely tied to demons. And so I think Jennifer's Body by Julia Wolf has like very specific lyrics talking about something specific. However, Jennifer's Body, the movie, which is like what it's named after, has to do with an incredible demon. So I think we're going to use The Incandescent by Emily Tesh for Jennifer's Body. And then I have one more, and I really don't know. Let me look up the summary for Shield of Sparrows because that's one that I really want to read, but I don't know if I can make it work for Smut or Caramel. So let me take a look. Okay, it might be like a little bit of a stretch. We'll have to rate how well I've matched my book to my song towards the end of the video, or like after we finish a book. I think I am gonna do Shield of Sparrows by Devney Perry for Caramel by Sleep Token, because, and for most of these books I'll give you a better summary when I've like started reading the book, but we had to like dig in a little bit for this one. Shield of Sparrows, our main character was always just supposed to be a vapid princess, intended to wear the crown but never really do anything else. She's not supposed to be a warrior. She's basically used as like a prize. It's like her dad was going to marry her off and she's a prize to whoever gets her and just sit there and look pretty type deal. Bound to a future I didn't choose and a husband I barely know. Everyone wants me to be something I'm not, a queen, a spy, a sacrifice. But what if I refused the role chosen for me and made my own rules? This song to me is like similar to having to deal with a fate or dealing with elements of something that you really truly dislike. And it's kind of like a bittersweet back and forth. It's like you like it, but you don't. And I feel like that could fit to Shield of Sparrows. So after this thorough analysis, those are our 3 books. We will have to rate together. Like, let me know how I did once we finish these books, if I fit the song well enough, if you are familiar with the song. Let's get to reading. I'm going to start with Silver Elite, and I'm very excited. I'm very excited for all of these books, honestly. So let's get to reading. I'm only on chapter 4. Oh my gosh, I just ripped this page. In this book, there's telepathy. I promise I will give a more coherent summary. I just haven't been enjoying reading summaries for books lately because I feel like they give too much away. They just ruin my reading experience. So when I get to page like 100, I will give my own summary of this book. But there is like telepathy in here, and there was a scene where our main character and her uncle were kind of like training her power when she was very young, and he's giving her a lot of imagery to imagine when she's trying to like make that connection with someone's brain. And he says to picture a like silver wire or like a silver line similar to like these on the cover, and he's like, grab onto and follow that silver line. And I just think about how one of my top songs was Party for You by Charlie XCX, and I don't know if y'all have seen her performances where she performs on like a black stage. She has this like silver/white LED wire that just hangs from the middle of the stage, and she just like swings it back and forth while singing Party for You. And I was like, honestly, we could have made Party for You work for this book only because of that silver line. Not really though, because like the lyrics are very different, I think, from what this book represents. I do think that Dangerous was a good choice for this one by Sleep Token, because she literally says, and I'm not going to read this whole sentence because I don't know if it's technically considered spoilery because I am right at the beginning of the book, but I read this little piece of the sentence and I was like, this kind of solidifies that Dangerous was a good choice, because this book, she is being hunted. Like, she's very not safe in this dystopian world, which is typically a theme, so it makes sense. But she says, all I know is that I'm in the most dangerous place on the continent. And I was like, period, we made a good choice with this one. Dangerous though has a lot of like, I don't want to say innuendo, but it's much more like dangerous in a romantic type way. And we did meet a hottie McHotster in literally chapter 1. And I think we're gonna circle back around and find out like who that is, because we didn't know who he was, but it was a stunning, like tension-filled scene right away. In the first chapter, she's like running away from a hookup, and then she like hides in someone's room. And that's when she meets Hottie McHotster, and he's like, who the heck are you? And it's a whole thing. We interrupt the reading updates for a very exciting package that one of my Patreons sent me. Silly Goose Livia, thank you so much. This thing is actually massive, and she told me to open it somewhere that would be easy to clean because of what she like packed it with. So we're gonna open her up. I'm so excited. Also, thank you so much for sending me anything at all. That's so sweet. I see so much candy. Oh my gosh, hopefully this didn't all like melt. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, I don't know if your card is okay to read out loud, so I'm going to read this to myself. Girl, what are you trying to do to me? And then it seems like we have some stunning books. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Livia, thank you so much. I feel so spoiled. No way. This is going to get me to actually read these books. Oh. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, hold on. That one's The Reckoning. I cannot believe you did this. You were working on this for a while because you were like, I'm trying to get this done. Oh my God, bestie. Okay, so I have to read these in June, is what you're telling me. I have to read these in June. Oh my God, I can't wait to see all your little doodles and your literal perfect handwriting. Perfect. The neatest handwriting you've ever seen in your whole freaking life. Like, what are you even talking about? That was written with your fingers? That's crazy. I'm gonna go read your card and probably sob my eyes out, and then to console me, I have 18 pounds of chocolate. Just FYI, I'm actually sobbing my eyeballs out. I wanted to give the tiniest little update on The Incandescent because I did start listening to that audiobook. I got an ALC. We're about 17% of the way in. Our main character, her name is Dr. Walden. She's the director of magic at Chetwood Academy, which is like the top elite magic school, and she's very good at her job. She does teach classes, and then she's also the director, so she oversees others. Her days consist of meetings, teaching A-level invocation to 4 talented, chaotic 6th formers. It says, demons are masters of manipulation. It's her responsibility to keep her school with its 600 students and centuries-old legacy safe, and it's possible the entity Walden most needs to keep her school safe from is herself. The magic is so cool in this book, and I think that I mentioned it's super interwoven with demons. Basically how they described it was you say something to an inanimate object using the word like you, almost like personifying an object. It invites a demon to possess like an object. However, those are very low level demons. And then it goes all the way up to, I think it's like classification 10, which are demons that are their own entity. They can possess a human if they wanted to, but they are their own creature. And then if they escape, they will like eat the entire student body and just cause havoc, and they can get into the world and like cause a lot of damage. But let's go back to the little demons, because it gives like a comedic element to this, even though it's dark academia, and it is a very almost overly descriptive writing style. I think that this writing style compares to like a Heather Fawcett's Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. That's how detailed it's getting. I do think that the Emily Wilde books are a little bit more whimsical in their setting, because those take place in like an enchanted fairy forest, whereas this is much more structured. It's a little bit more clinical. I hesitate to use that word, but also that's really how it's reading right now. Or I guess I should say listening right now, because describing the demons and like everything that we had to learn about the demons and also the magic has seemed a little bit telling. We've seen a little bit of showing, but mostly telling, because our main character is a teacher essentially, so she does a lot of like teaching. And when she was describing some of the, I don't know if you would call it an experiment, like an invocation, I think is what they called it. She goes to this lesson where she's teaching certain higher level students how to summon a demon and like do it successfully, which is really cool. But it's almost like a science experiment in school, where it was like, we have safety procedures that we have to follow, and everyone has to do this, and then everyone's gonna take a turn to like do this thing. It was like when you had to like dissect a frog or something in school. So it's like there's a very specific procedure, and like everyone has to do a certain thing and whatever. So that is how it's reading so far. I know that this book is not going to be for everybody, but if you liked Emily Wilde, I think that this could be something you would like. I'm curious to see where this goes. The audiobook, at least earlier when I was listening to it, it started to get into a lot of very minute details when they were in the classroom. And now our main character is sitting in on other teachers' classes and like taking notes and analyzing their teaching style. So going forward, I'm expecting it to be very minute details. For me, with an audiobook, that's not always the best, because I can sometimes like zone out of all of these like little details, because not all of these details are like necessarily important to the plot, but I think it's really helping us to understand our main character. And I think this is going to be a very character-driven story. That was a very long-winded update for 16% of the way into this book, but But those are the thoughts so far. I will do another update when we are much further in. Okay, we have reading updates on Silver Elite. I'm now on page 102, chapter 11. This is incredible. I don't want to put this down. It feels like when I read Fourth Wing for the first time. I know that a lot of people are making that comparison because this does have like a military school element to it. More like training, like boot camp, I guess you could say. And obviously Bezgaeth in Fourth Wing is a war school, like a military school. So it feels similar in that way, but they are very different worlds. Ren is a badass. Ren is so freaking cool. This world, I'm excited to experience more of the dangers of it. Right now, the dangers are the people. It's very political. We haven't had too much exposure. We've been told about a lot of the dangers. We have seen some very severe consequences played out so far, which was crazy. And then I don't know if you want to call it magic, but like powers, abilities in this book are fascinating because we talked about that like telepathy aspect. So Ren being our main character, she's one of the modified. It's this group of people in this world that have been exposed to like a chemical of sorts. They've been exposed to something that gave them psychic abilities where they can mentally connect with other people. That group of people, the modified, are persecuted in this world. They're seen as too powerful, too dangerous. And so the ruling like military, essentially the military that rules the continent, the military obviously doesn't want anybody more powerful than them being able to outsmart them, outmaneuver them, read their minds, all of these things. And so anytime they identify a modified, they kill them. But there's certain modified that have like extra abilities, and we're just gonna leave it at that. She has spent her whole life obviously in hiding because she is the most powerful, one of the most powerful mods. She's been honing her skills until she makes a devastating mistake. It leads to her capture. She is enrolled in what is called the Silver Block, which is one of the most elite training programs, and she decides to make the most of it and maybe like hit the enemy from the inside type of deal, where previously, before she was like sort of captured, sort of forced to join this Silver Block, she was helping the rebel uprising. It is so, this writing style is interesting because it's very simple. It's not overly complex. Most dystopians, I get a little bit nervous because sometimes it can get a little bit crazy with the world building and things like that. So easy to understand. I also have theories about who this author is. I don't know if y'all have seen the conspiracy theories for like, who is Dani Francis? There's no picture in the back of the book. Their socials are like super weird. It just says Dani Francis is an avid reader, a lover of all things breakfast, a hopeless romantic when she is not creating high-stakes fantasy worlds and complex characters. You can find her spending her time with her family or trying to figure out why the printer never works. I think that this is Elsie Silver. That is one of the theories. I've also seen Brandon Sanderson, but this does not read like a Brandon Sanderson book. I actually heard that theory before I started reading this, and that made me a little nervous because Brandon Sanderson has like one of the most expansive, crazy world building brains ever. Like obviously the Cosmere is so well loved and it's just immersive with a capital I. This is also immersive, not to say that it's not, but again, that writing style is so much more like simple, so easy to digest, and you just fall into this writing like it's a bed of pillows. And I feel like I could see Elsie Silver's writing style, except she's not writing from a cowboy cowgirl perspective. Actually, she kind of is, because Ren, when she was like in hiding, grew up and lived on a ranch. And I'm like, Elsie girl, is that you? Also, it has silver, so I'm like, Elsie Silver, Silver Elite. I don't know, I'm just like making things up here, but this will be like, none of these books will be spoilery, so I will try to keep my updates as vague as possible. But the love interest in this already, there's like barely any tension. They've had like 2 conversations with each other, like 3 conversations with each other. I'm obsessed with them. They are so enemies to lovers, like very, very enemies. But oh my god, he's so hot. He's so hot. He's so hot in his little combat boots. Like, please. I need to make an aesthetic mood board, Pinterest board for this book, because I searched earlier and there wasn't any that were made. I'm probably gonna do a bullet journal spread for this book because like I just need to capture the atmosphere of this book.
Hey, Tom. What do you got one ear up for? Oh, now you have book ears?
Hi besties, I'm currently on sprints with the Patreons. We are still reading Silver Elite and I want to read a little bit more of it before my next update. But I just did a new Nespresso pod order and I wanted to be able to try pistachio coffee before ordering these. However, I saw that one of the new summer flavors for Nespresso is pistachio vanilla and it's a double espresso pod. I don't usually, all I order from Nespresso are the double espresso pods. I don't get like their coffees and stuff like that. I find that I just don't like them. So I really wanted to try, like, Starbucks used to have recently, I want to say like spring, they had a pistachio cold brew. And so I saw this on the website. I tried to go to Starbucks. They said they no longer had pistachio flavor. So I was like, great. But then I decided to order just 1 sleeve of these. If I hate them, it comes with 10 of them, but we're gonna try it. It's really cute. It's this really pretty green color. We're gonna give it a try. It's, like I said, pistachio vanilla flavor. I have a vanilla creamer, a vanilla oat milk creamer I'm gonna use with it, and then just like oat milk, and we'll see how it goes. So I figured let's try it together. I feel like this is either going to be really good or it's going to absolutely suck and there's gonna be no in between. Let's give it a try. I'm a little worried because I can already really smell the vanilla flavor in the coffee, like just when it was brewing. So, oh my god, I like didn't stir it. I got a very strong sip of just espresso. It's good. I feel like all I taste is the vanilla. And maybe it's because I put in the vanilla creamer that like that's the flavor that's just really overpowering everything. It's really like, it's not bad at all, but honestly, I think if you like pistachio and that's what you were looking forward to, you wouldn't like this because where is pistachio? I only see vanilla. It's not bad though, it's really good. Hello besties, I owe you lots and lots of updates with Silver Elite and also with The Incandescent by Emily Tesh. Let's start with The Incandescent because I'm not gonna lie, I've been struggling with it a little bit. It's difficult for me to like want to pick up this audiobook. I've been going for a couple walks. I go for walks daily and I usually try to make that my audiobook time, but lately I've been finding I will start listening to that audiobook and then I will just want to switch to listening to music instead because my mind is just wandering while I'm listening to it, and then I find that I'm not absorbing what's going on. I kind of have no idea and it's just like, it's just not capturing my attention. And I think it's the writing style. I'm wondering if I might have fared better if I were reading it with my eyeballs instead of just having the ALK, but it also might just be that I'm not in the mood for a book like this at the moment because The Incandescent is so, I think I've mentioned this, so detail oriented, giving you lots and lots of details about demons. I think it's not as whimsical as what I was hoping for, and also it is not romance forward. The pacing for this book is very, very slow. I have been like fighting to get to 50% in this book before I decide if I officially want to DNF, but we're at 41% right now, and like my desire to continue reading is really, really dwindling, because I feel like the plot didn't actually start. We were getting so much setup until about the 35% mark, and then from 35 to the 41% that I've listened to, that's when things in the plot sort of started truly happening. I don't see a lot happening from the romance, and with Emily Tesh, her books are very character-driven stories. I'm not overly in love with this main character. I find her very clinical, and so I don't enjoy reading from her perspective. I gave Emily Wilde 4 stars, but what really captured me about Emily Wilde was the romance, and that we had a really good balance between two very different characters. Our main character, Emily, was this super detail-oriented person studying fairies, but then her counterpart, her like rival, I really enjoyed their dynamic together. And he was the complete opposite. He was the silly to her serious, and we don't have that in this book. We have two very serious characters. Now, in Emily Tesh's Silver in the Wood, those were two more serious characters as well, but because it was a novella, the pacing of the book was obviously so much faster, and I think that's the other element that I'm struggling with. We have two very serious characters. There's not a lot of romance in sight at the moment. The demons aren't like super gripping me, and the pace is very, very slow because this is her full-length novel. But I'm sad to say that. I also don't know, because it's an advanced listener copy, I think I'm going to err on like the positive side, but I don't know what I want to rate this book, because it's a DNF, so for me it's probably like a 2 star, but I don't want to like put that on an arc. Maybe I just won't give it a rating. I never know. I always overthink with arcs so much more than what I would do with like a normal book, because I just like don't know. But I love Emily Tesh as an author. So anyways, I was also hoping for like a lot more sapphic right away, and we don't have that. And so Jennifer's Body, I do think the song still fits. I think I could fit Jennifer's Body better with a different book. I immediately think of Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. Like, that is the epitome of Jennifer's Body. It's so good. It's so good. Or like Hungerstone. Oh my gosh, so good. So many sapphic vampires, like demonic villain origin story women. I think that that would fit Jennifer's Body a little bit better to match our Spotify with our books. But anyways, let's get back to Silver Elite. The more I read this book, the more that Dangerous absolutely encapsulates this book. I am on page like 350 right now. I stayed up way too late last night. I'm obsessed. I love Cross. It's interesting because there is things happening with the plot. It's a very interesting plot because we're at like a military school, so it's been a lot of the like training scenes, learning scenes. They're doing different exercises. There's a lot of teamwork going on. Honestly, a lot of team building going on, truly. It's a very character-driven story for a fantasy novel, which is kind of crazy. Like, there's nothing like hugely massive that has happened in the plot until basically the part that I just stopped at, because their training program is kind of like finishing and they're seeing where they landed and like how things ended up playing out. So I feel like that was a big plot moment, but the characters are driving this story forward, and their relationships to each other are everything. There's a lot of just drama. There's a lot of just drama between these characters, sabotaging, making allies, making enemies, and that has been so much fun. Also, there's so many just like angsty moments because tensions are running so high and emotions are running so high. I really enjoy Ren's character because she's so believable to me. She's been put in this situation I couldn't even fathom being in after like where this book starts and something really tragic takes place, and then her emotional journey dealing with all of that, and then trying to navigate this like whole new life, this whole new world essentially that she's been like thrown into, and she's trying to decide what the best thing for her to do is. It's so good. Also, like, playing the two sides of the coin between you're in this like military school, but you hate the military and you hate everything that they stand for, and then also having this connection to the uprising, connection to these rebels, having to like play both sides of the field. She is so sneaky and she's so badass, and it's so funny because people are describing her as like very cocky, and she is, and I love it. Honestly, I love a cocky female main character. Like, she has been trained. She is a badass. She's better than like literally most other people. Good for her. If you liked a character like Selena Sardothian, I think that you would really enjoy Ren Darlington. The only thing about this book is that Darlington is so ingrained in my soul from Ninth House that I don't like that her last name is Darlington, because I feel like it just doesn't fit for me. It doesn't fit. Darlington, that is a whole separate character, and that's such a unique name that I'm like, no. So I just call her Ren in my head. Whenever they say her last name doesn't exist for me, because like otherwise it would just be too wonky, too crazy. Those are my thoughts so far. I have not been updating with like every thought feeling over every sentence because number one, y'all would be annoyed. Number two, I'm trying to keep my updates for this book vague. Like, usually with books when I'm reading them, I'll read out little quotes or like things that I'm hee-heeing and ha-haing about and kicking my feet over and stuff like that, but I don't want to like give away too much with this. I want people to go in and have very much their own reading experience, and so the updates for this book are a little bit more general than like what I usually do. Besties, I don't have a reading update, but I do have a little like sticker haul, and this is going to be to redo my Kindle, and I'm so excited because ever since I updated my Kindle to, what is this, Gen 12, like whatever the pink one is, when this first came out, I ordered it because my Kindle was like 3 or 4 years old and the battery was awful on it and like all these things, whatever. So since I've switched over my Kindle, I haven't like loved the stickers that I have in the back of it. I do the clear case with the pop socket because I find it the most comfy, and this is a magnetic pop socket so that when I use my like Kindle arm with my clicker, I can just like take this off. So I ordered some things. This is from Starborn Designs. Oh my god, those stickers are so small. That will probably work so much better. I'm so excited for all of these, but I'm very excited for one in particular because I've been so obsessed with Sleep Token lately because their new album like came out this week. Oh my god, they're so cute. Oh my god, are they all? They're all glittery like this. Oh my gosh, I'm so freaking excited. They're so small. Okay, amazing. Okay, I will do like a close-up, just like pan over of all of these, but this is the one that I have been so excited for. It's Vessel from Sleep Token, and he's so cute. And then they had a bunch of like Y2K stickers, so obviously I got a Bubbles popsicle. These used to be my go-to when the ice cream truck came around. A little Game Boy, and they're all glittery. I didn't realize that they're all this like glittery texture, but I really, really love it. I also am obsessed with this one because I've been reading so much queer lit and so much like LGBTQIA plus representation lately, and also June is Pride Month and I'm so excited. Okay, so the thing that I'm doing differently besides using like just smaller stickers, I got like this little skin. They are adhesive, they are sticky. I'm going to stick this front piece on the front of my Kindle because this is just black anyways, it's not pink, so I wanted it to be like a cute little moment. Oh my god, how cute is that? The back, I don't know if I'm going to actually stick it onto my Kindle because I don't want to like have to peel it off. I might just stick this in the back. Interesting. I ordered the right size for my Kindle, but like the edges still kind of show, which I don't hate because I do love the pink, but I was expecting it to cover, I guess, like a little bit more because that's like quite a bit of a border around. But this is so cute. Oh my god, that looks so cute. I do have a new pop socket. I'm just waiting for like a new magnetic piece to arrive. Also, my Kindle case gets so grubby. I need to clean this before we like put some stickers on. See what I mean by like the edges? That's okay though. I think it'll still look really cute. The pink kind of goes with the cover as well. It's kind of the color of the cherries. So like definitely nobody stayed up until 2:30 in the morning finishing this book. Like, what are you even talking about? I feel like I did not do a good job actually vlogging reading this book. I'm just coming in with updates after I've finished like a massive portion of it. That is because this book ruined me in general, period, end of sentence. And it also ruined my sleeping schedule because I kept staying up until like 1:30, 2 o'clock, 2:30 in the morning to finish this book because it's like a drug. When you pick it up, regardless of what time, whether it's 10 p.m., 11 p.m., I had one more chapter syndrome so hard with this. Last night, I literally was like, okay, I only have like 50 pages left. I'm gonna read one more chapter and then I'm gonna put this book down. Clown. This is a clown. Oh my gosh. I don't even know like what to say. I'm so grateful that in our like Patreon Discord we had a channel to discuss this book and to discuss like spoilers and stuff, because the way that this ended was insane. I need to know when the next book in the series is coming out immediately, like absolutely truly immediately. Also, I definitely think that this was Elsie Silver who wrote this book, unless like, what if like Danny Francis is truly like their own person? I'm unwell. We got, not exaggerating, 25 cliffhangers at the end of this book, like so many questions. Honestly, this book makes me want to go back to reading like Hunger Games and stuff. And they had me in a chokehold, but since then I've never really returned to dystopian. I don't know why. I've always just been like, I don't think I'm gonna like it anymore. Like that was a phase of my life, like I don't know. And then this book has convinced me otherwise. And also this book reminded me how much of like a chokehold I was in when I was reading the Hunger Games and like watching those movies. Now I'm like, no, I'm in my dystopian era. Like, what are you talking about? I'm absolutely in my dystopian era. I made an entire Pinterest board, like mood board for this book. I will link it in the description box below if you would like to look at it. I'm obsessed with it. There was only one thing in this book where I had a moment, and it's because like I was so invested in the story that I like really had a visceral reaction to this. There was one plot twist in the story where I was like, I don't believe this. Like, I don't believe that this character would do this. And then there's like repercussions from what they did. And I was just like, why would they do that? Like literally, why would they do that? And last night when I was reading it, I was like, this is a 4-star because of that. Like, I'm so upset with this character. Like, why would they do that? It makes no sense. This is a 5-star. Like, truly, it's a 5-star. It's a 6-star read for me. But there is one thing in the plot that happened where I was like, why? Like, I get it. It was done for the drama. It was done for the things that come after. But I was just like, I'm so freaking mad at you right now. Like, what are you talking about? That's all I can say. In terms of our song to book match, this is a 10 out of 10. Dangerous encapsulates this book so well. Like, I really think that we hit the nail on the head with the song match to this book, which is great. We redeemed a little bit of ourselves from The Incandescent. So there we go. And now the next book is Shield of Sparrows by Daphne Bailey. I'm so excited for this. This book is so freaking pretty. I need to do like close-ups for y'all with the edges and with the end pages. Oh my god, they're so good. We just got back from my birthday vacation weekend getaway today, like a couple hours ago. I have not read a word, a page, a sentence of Shield of Sparrows. So we're gonna fix that today. I spent the past 4 days, like completely not reading anything, but Ross and I had a really great time. It was so fun being in Joshua Tree. It was an experience. We'll just call it that. We need to lock in, besties. I am going to rot on the couch. I just went to Costco because like today's Monday, I have the day off of work because it's my birthday today. You know what, I just want to like reset for the week. We cleaned the apartment before we left, so it's really just like unpacking my suitcase and trying not to wait like 2 weeks to unpack my suitcase and like do my laundry and stuff like that. But we have priorities right now. So I just went to Costco and I picked up this strawberry cream. It's like a coconut and strawberry flavored beverage, and I'm going to make a matcha with this as the base because strawberry matcha is one of my favorite things ever. And I also really enjoy like coconut milk. I feel like this is, I don't think that this is coconut milk. It's coconut cream, water, and strawberry juice concentrate. We're gonna give it a try. It's not creamy. It's like a very watery beverage. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it tastes, but we're making a matcha with this. We're going to sit down and read, and I will actually have an update for you during the next check-in. Actually not bad. It's very, very strawberry. It's like very sweet strawberry, but it's not bad. It's actually not bad. It's just not like a creamy consistency. It's really like a thin beverage, if you get what I'm saying, but it tastes good. Hi besties, we are about 50 pages into Shield of Sparrows. I wanted to do just a first impressions update and give a little bit of a summary because I'm hoping that we could look back on this clip and laugh together because I get like a lot more into it. We are following our main character, Odessa. She is kind of the spare princess, if you will. Her sister May is like the chosen princess, which is weird because Odessa is like the eldest princess, but her dad, the king, remarried after her mother died and seems to have chosen like her half siblings over her, but especially her sister. There's like this arranged marriage in this society. Every so often, I think it's like 10 years, the royal families, they intermingle, they marry to keep the peace because previously this was a very war-torn society. And not only would they be fighting each other with different kingdoms, but there is this period of time, I don't know if this is as scheduled as every 10 years or like when exactly this takes place, but there is this thing that happens with monsters in this world where the monsters just all decide to attack at the same time, and it's called the migration, the Crux migration, I think. We don't have a lot of information on that or like what that is. May, her sister, is supposed to meet her betrothed. It's like this whole thing. They're gathering in the throne room. We meet Odessa when she's like late getting ready for this thing because she's like, why am I even going? This doesn't involve me. I don't care. I don't want to be there. I want to go swim and jump off cliffs in the ocean, which apparently has monsters in it, but she's like so unbothered. So anyways, she shows up late for this thing. Her sister's betrothed shows up and is like, we killed the monsters. Here are the monsters, crazy. We're so badass. We're like these monster killing crazy warrior people. We didn't get any like haughty descriptions besides the fact that they're like very tall and it's a group of these like warrior men dressed in leather armor. So there's that. And then the king is like, check out your bride, my guy. Are you happy? And they turn around and they're like, we don't want that one, we want this one. And they're pointing to Odessa, and Odessa is like, my mother literally dresses me in gray so that I blend in with the stone floor. Like, what are you talking about? Me? How can you even see me? I should be camouflaged in my gray dress in this castle. And so then it becomes this whole thing. And she's promised she has to fulfill this little traitoroo to this man. We know nothing about him. He hasn't spoken a singular word. That's the summary. Overall impressions, we had so much world building in these first 50 pages and it wasn't fun. It was just info dumpy of like, this is everything you need to know, and hi, by the way, my name is Odessa, I'm your FMC, and you're in my head for this whole book. I read the first like 3 pages of this book multiple times on different days, and each time I read the first 3 pages, I was like, I don't know what's going on. Like, it was really hard for me to get into this. I have to say, like, I'm not super into the writing style so far. I feel like I'm being very harsh. I've read 50 pages. We're gonna keep reading this, but I would say, like, this is so hard because I've just read 2 banger fantasy romances with really good writing styles. Like Silver Elite, I was in it from the very first second, the first word, and then The Windweaver was just the most magical world building, and also like the writing style was so strong. Devney Perry doesn't write romantasy, like this is her first romantasy book, so I get it. Like, I know, not that I'm a writer, but being a reader, I know that world building is hard to do in a fantasy, and coming from an author who writes contemporary romance, like romantic suspense, where you don't have to do that, it's probably hard. I don't think that this had the strongest introduction. Besties, we are a little over 40% into this book. I switched to reading it on my Kindle last night after that first check-in when we were like 50 pages in. I read more, I got to page 100. I was still like, I feel so about this. That was a funny sentence. I feel so mid about this book, and I don't understand. Usually books that are like super duper hyped, fantasy romance books that are super duper hyped, I am there. I'm on the hype train. I am pulling on the horn. I am one of those people. This has taken me so long to get into. Now that we're getting more of the love interest, I am liking it slightly more. It has been a struggle. So yesterday, after like reading on the couch for a while, we got 100 pages in, put it down for a little bit, and then I said, you know what, I'm gonna push through and like continue reading more of this book, because maybe it's just once I get to a certain point, like that'll do it for me. And I was like, maybe I'm uncomfortable, I'm tired. I was giving this like every excuse in the book. I laid down, I took a shower, laid down, took all my makeup off, got comfy, started reading this on my Kindle because it is on Kindle Unlimited, figuring comfy vibes. It's still like very mid for me. I feel like things that are supposed to be like mysteries and like questions about this book, it's pretty transparent. Our FMC, I don't like her. That doesn't happen to me very often. Usually, like, if they're a little annoying, I can deal with it. I will reiterate what I said in the first check-in. 0 personality, not fun to read. Like, she's just boring, and she's the only POV. No one's more devastated than I am to say all of these things, and I'm really sorry because I know that so many people give this book 5 stars. All of my friends gave this book 5 stars. Like, so many people! I'm upset. Besties, we've made it to the halfway mark. We are on page 256, chapter 31. It's starting to like have more going on. I think it took a very long time to get to a point where I was much more interested, and it was really a turning point with our female main character where she finally decided not to just do everything that everyone was telling her, and she started to like fight back a little bit more and sort of like be her own person, like be her own character, like be braver and stop just like going with the flow, that's when I started to enjoy the story a little bit more. But that literally happens at like the 45% mark. So I'm not fully DNFing this. I think for right now, I do want to put it down and switch to something else, because like there's so many other super highly anticipated new releases that are out right now that I'm like dying to get to. And I think maybe with some time away from this, if I return and I'm already at like the good juicy part, that might work a little bit better for me, honestly. I meant to do this before I started this vlog clip. I'm going to listen to Caramel by Sleep Token, because that's the song that we assigned to this book, I think, I hope, if I'm remembering correctly. I should have put sticky notes on each book of like the song that I was assigning to them. I just want to do like a little bit of a re-listen to see and confirm if that was like a good match for this book. I think it was, because like lyrically, Caramel and Shield of Sparrows, I think it works. I'm gonna come back and have like specific examples. And now that we've like read half of this, I think that I'll have like a better gauge on if that was really a good match. Okay, back to confirm. I think that Caramel, the like vibes of the song don't really match this, but lyrically they kind of do. Like there's some lyrics that say, every time they try to shout my real name just to get a rise out of me, acting like I'm never stressed out by the hearsay. I guess that's what I get for trying to hide in the limelight. The meaning of this song in relation to like Sleep Token is very different, but I do think like every time the Guardian calls her Sparrow, that like it's accurate, but it like irks her. And like stressed out by the hearsay, no one in like this new country really knows, but she wasn't supposed to be the Sparrow. It was supposed to be her sister. And so like I think that that does relate, but overall vibes, I don't think that Caramel fits this book very well, because Caramel's like, it's like lighthearted, but it's sort of like bittersweet. And I don't think that this reads super lighthearted because of like the monsters. It is a pretty dark world, and so I don't think that the song is going to be everybody's cup of tea, but I think that a better fit, Jaded by Spirit Box, this song right here, it's iconic. It's a metal song, so it's not going to be for everybody. It is more like screamy and stuff than like a Sleep Token song. It's also not on my top songs yet, even though I have been listening to it quite a bit, because like the lyrics for this one, the mood overall I think is much darker in this song, and I think that matches this book a little bit more. And then the lyrics for the song, they do like match a little bit better. This is like, okay, I'm on like angsty metal algorithm for my Spotify. I know, I mean, it goes along with Sleep Token. Like I just get recommended these songs all the time now. So this is like a very angsty song, but that really does match her relationship with the like love interests in here, because it's very like mysterious, and there's a love interest that like I think is like the actual love interest, and there's a lot of like tension between them, and at the 50% mark like nothing's happened between them. Y'all, I think that Jaded by Spirit Box is a little bit better of a fit for this book. So even though it wasn't on top songs, this is a really fun challenge to try to do like Spotify Picks My Reads. It's really difficult matching a song to a book before you've read the book. I think this is a really fun challenge I would definitely love to do again. So please let me know if you liked this video. I'm sorry that I'm not finishing this book, but I just think it's time, and maybe when I come back to it, it will go a little bit better. If you've made it this far, leave whatever like music-oriented emoji in the comments down below if you'd like to let me know that you were here. I will catch you in the comments, and I will see you in my next one very soon. Also, please let me know the current book that you're reading. What song would you match to it?